What's going on, traders? Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be recapping the trades that I made. Unfortunately, it is a red day, not from day trading, but from an overnight swing trade that I did on the market. I was short the market overnight, and I was right. We did come down today, but we started with a gnarly gap up, which again, I ended up taking off for a loss early in the morning as soon as the market opened. So we'll talk about that, but we're going to run through all the day trades here. So on the day, we're going to be down $47 with commission. It's probably about a $100 red day. So we went from being down $1,600 from an overnight swing trade to basically break even. So in reality, made about $1,600 day trading today, but it doesn't really count for anything because I started down $1,600 from the swing trade. So let's go over it here. So one trade we made here, which was actually just done recently, like a couple minutes ago, was on SFIX. And so just kind of popped up on my scanner, was on a really good bullish move for the day, comes down, hits VWAP, bounces back up, comes back down. So this was a typical play that I'll do, which is a 200 exponential moving average bounce. A lot of times when the price action of a stock comes crashing down into a 200 moving average, depending on how the order flow looks and the level 2 and whatnot, what have you. So not every time does it work, but a lot of times when the stock comes crashing down into its 200 moving average, and I'm going to delete something off my chart. It's kind of in the way, kind of bothering me. Never said to do that. There we go. So yes, whenever we get price action coming down right into about the 200 moving average, we didn't quite touch here on this one, but whenever it does, a lot of times we'll get a nice little bounce. So I counter trend traded a bounce here on SFIX with 2,000 shares. I keep zooming in and out like an idiot trying to get it, but it's not working the way I want it to. Anyways, we get in here in a counter trend trade, bounce, 2,000 shares, $29.43 was the price I got in at, and took the shares off at $29.60. So made about 17 cents on 2,000 shares there, coming out to a profit of $3.22. Another trade, AMD. So we'll hop over to AMD here. All right, let me delete this Fibonacci off here, get that out of the way. So this was just a quick short scalp of 3,000 shares. AMD kind of pushed up over this 50 moving average, and it was hitting what was just on the chart was a Fibonacci retracement. It was tapping and closing below one of our retracement levels. So I was like, I could probably short this. So I ended up doing a 3,000 share short at 33.02 and covering that up at 32.95 for 7 cents profit, 6 cents arguably for $187. So a lot of money down for a small chunk of change. But again, generally speaking, that's what a lot of scalp trading is putting in some heavy size, looking for a small move, taking it off once you get it, and taking your profit. And again, starting with a down day, starting the day down 1,600, it's not like I'm really trying to come out here and press too hard. And the market started off a little bit shaky in the morning where the futures volume was down a little bit. We weren't getting crazy volatility that we really wanted after the early morning drop. So a lot of things weren't moving too crazy. So I kind of shifted gears to more of like a small scalp kind of mindset for the day. But anyways, 3,000 shares short here, covered up, $187 win, ends up falling short primarily for a good chunk of the day. Could have re-shorted if I wanted to, but wasn't paying attention. So decent trade there for $187. One of the losses I took on the day was BYND. So I was kind of playing some psychology here, anticipating that we would do like this really big early morning short squeeze, and then we would come down. So again, this is one of those situations where I was trying to trade based off of what I kind of wanted to happen rather than doing what the market was telling me, and again resulting in a loss. So again, really was looking for this thing just to keep short squeezing up. I was up about $400 at one point on the trade, but just didn't take it off, anticipating a bigger move. So could have been green on the trade, could have took some off, but again, looking for that big move that we just didn't get. So ended up getting here 300 shares at 148.27, taking them off at 147.62. So lost about 40 or so cents on the trade. So again, kind of just like a pointless trade, really. This was down so big. A lot of times when the short play to the downside is way too obvious, the stock will squeeze up, take out everybody that was short overnight, and then run the price down. And that's kind of what I was anticipating. So it took a $194 loss there looking for a bounce, which we got, but just not as big as I was looking for. Could have made money, but didn't take it off in time. All right, H&R Block, traded H&R Block for a loss today. HRB was an earnings trade. It was a little bit lighter on volume here, so I'm taking a pretty good, decent size. I'm in 3,500 shares. So really what made me want to take this trade is price action came declining all the way down to about the 200 moving average. Remember I said price declined to 200 moving average, we usually get a bounce. Well, this one didn't quite touch the 200 moving average, but we had a bullish divergence. So you could see we had a low point here where the RSI got down to here, right? And then we rolled over to make a new low below this low, and the RSI was trending up. So that's a bullish divergence. Caught it a little bit late. If I would have got it a little earlier here down in this red candle, I would have been green on the trade. But I still took it even after popping up a little bit, right? Got in 2,500 shares on this green candle. We spike up. I was green on the trade. We pull back. I'm red, right? And then it gets bought back up. So I'm like, okay, I'll add into here. It's even lower. So I add in a little bit lower, 2 cents lower with 1,000 shares. Then we kind of curl up. I'm green. And then next candle rolls over. And at that point, I realized that it probably wasn't going to work in my favor, took it off for a $224 loss. And as you can see, since then, it didn't go back up. So right call to take that off rather than holding and waiting and hoping. All right, next trade. Roku was a long play today. Made a long play here, Roku. So, or 2 long plays. So just kind of 2 scalp trades, pretty straightforward. This was a Fibonacci retracement kind of bounce trade. Anyways, anticipated we have a bounce off this 127 extension leg. Got in 900 shares at 97.93 and took them off at 98.17. So about a 20-something cent trade. Then we changed trend. You see this little white trend line kind of drops down, breaks over, comes back down, tests as a trend line support, starts to curl up. Got in 1,000 shares looking for a squeeze over the VWAP. We barely get it, so I get it at 98.81 and take it off at 98.86, understanding that the strength of the move just wasn't there at that time. So I'm taking the trade off for another small win. So in total, traded 1,900 shares here on Roku, make $352. Next one is SF. Did we already do SFIX? Yeah, BYND, Roku, SFIX. Yeah, we already did SFIX. So then the other trade that I made was with the SPY, which I was right. If I would have held all day long, we would have basically reclaimed majority of the loss. But anyways, got short yesterday on this on a 50 moving average trace here. Knew I was kind of shorting at the lows. I was like, it's okay. So I ended up getting short here, 20 option contracts. Next thing you know, it pops up over the night. And of course, I take it off right at the top. So I started day trading. I was like, well, I could let this hang on a little bit more. So I ended up letting it go all the way up, and then took it off really right at the high of this candle, and it started to crash and come down. So that was just a botched trade. Could have done better if I managed it better, but is what it is. So started the day down 1,600. Let me pull this up. Hold on. So started the day down 1,600. I was down 14,000 or 1,450 on the SPY, and then my first trade was BYND, which put me down $1,600 on the day, and then of course 187 on AMD, 900. Oh, NBY, that's the trade I'm forgetting. I was thinking I knew I forgot a trade in there. So we got to cover one more trade, and that was NBY. NBY was the actual kind of big trade I made on the day. So 2 trades. So first trade here was a 2,500 share scalp trade off this little support level from yesterday. Felt it wasn't going to work, so I took it off, right? And then we kind of bounced back up. We're pressing just below the 250 area, so I ended up getting in 7,500 shares. So 7,500 shares at an average price of $245, right? Pops up to 252, I take off 2,500 shares. Pops up to 261, I take off 2,500 shares. Pops up to 266, I take off 1,000 shares. Starts to roll over at 264, I take off the rest of my position. In total, traded 10,000 shares, made $958, and to end the day, down about $100. So nonetheless, pretty much an active trading day. A lot of trades in there, but for the most part, pretty consistent. More winners than losers. If we didn't have the overnight swing trade get completely botched and me just screw that up, then the day would have been a really good day. But it is what it is. Starting with basically a break-even day here. But can't complain. So I hope you guys liked the video. Hope you learned something new. And as always, thank you guys for tuning in. If you can, like the video. That helps get our name out there onto YouTube. Share it if you think it will, mean something to somebody else. But other than that, I'll see you guys on the next video. Everybody take care and stay green.